Once again, Sony has taken an L. But this time, they did it intentionally. They decided to adopt the letter L in their 2023 model names. So when you see a QD-OLED this year from Sony, you're going to see that it is called the A95L. That's right, Sony is bringing back the QD-OLED, as you can see right here on this graphic. This was from a video that Electric Home put out on their YouTube channel. Now, I do think this is a really great idea because overall last year, the A95K was thought of as the best TV by a lot of people, including me. I thought that if you have the money for it, the A95K couldn't be beat. Before we dive into the whole entire 2023 lineup, I just want to remind you guys that I'll have Sony TV news all year long, and I'll also be reviewing the Sony TVs, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss that. Also, this way you can see when I go live on my next live stream, where you can go ahead and ask any question that you have about TVs. Alright, so let's talk about what's new with the Sony TV lineup. One really interesting thing that I found from this video is that when you're talking about the LCD side of things, not listed under mini LED is the 95L, but under mini LED is the EK. So the 95L seems to be just a LCD TV and not a mini LED TV. I don't know, that part is a little confusing to me. I don't know if that's really concrete for the US or anything. And we might very well get the 95L in mini LED like normal, but you never know, so I just want to throw it out there just in case it is a possibility. Alright, also for mini LED, you see that the 8K Z9L is coming back in 75 and 85 inches, so that's nothing new there, but we move over to QD-OLED, and you can see, yes, the 77-inch size is coming this year, which is great news because that's what a lot of people were hoping for. They want QD-OLED in 77 inches, and some people just don't like what Samsung Electronics does with their QD-OLED, so it's good to have an alternative with the A95L. And remember, this year, QD-OLED is going to be improved as it is the second generation of QD-OLED. It is brighter and it is more efficient for 2023. Now, moving down from there, we have the A80L, which is the non-QD OLED. This is the OLED that Sony buys from LG Display, and that is available in 55, 65, and 77 inches. Curious enough, there is no 83-inch OLED from Sony this year, and I wonder if that has something to do with the screen uniformity in the 83-inch OLED sizes. So, for 2 years now, Sony has not had an OLED in 83 inches. The last OLED they had in 83 inches was the A90J, and there was a lot of complaints about pink tint from the 83-inch size. So I'm wondering if the 83-inch size just isn't suitable for Sony anymore. So that's why they went ahead and omitted it altogether. But I don't know, that's just speculation on my part. But looking at that A80L series, it looks like it is a continuation from the A80K series, and it doesn't appear to be using the MLA technology, the Meta technology from LG Display. I think that news is probably a disappointment for some people, as there was a crowd of people that were hoping that Sony would adopt MLA technology to one of their OLED series. But it doesn't seem to be the case here, unless they're hiding something behind closed doors that they don't want to talk about or show anybody at all. I guess that could be a possibility, but I'm gonna go ahead and say not likely. And remember, this year there's not a huge shift in LG OLED displays technology other than MLA, so the A80 series is probably going to be very similar to the A80K of last year, much like the LG C3 is going to be very similar to the LG C2 of last year. So if there is improvements, I wouldn't expect it to come from the panel itself, more so expect it to maybe come from the processing enhancements if there is any extra processing changes for 2023. Alright, moving down, we have the LCD lineup, and I mentioned the whole thing with the 95L earlier in the mini LED, and how the 95 series is usually mini LED, but it doesn't appear like that's the case on this graph, but this very well could be region dependent, so don't read too much into it. So for the 95L, we have 65, 75, and 85-inch screen sizes available. Traditionally, for the 95 series, we never see a 55-inch, so this is pretty on par with the 95 usually. Going down from there, we have the 90L, which is 55, 65, 75, 85, and a whopping 98 inches. The 90 series is kind of like the tried and true series from year to year for Sony, and it is that first kind of almost premium TV you can get from Sony. Down from there is the 85 series, which some people do like, but I'm not a big fan of it because you can get other TVs in the same price range that can outperform it quite easily. For the 85L sizes, you have the 43, the 50, the 55, the 65, the 75, and the 85-inch screen sizes. Going down from there, you have the 80L, which is kind of more of the budget lineup, but it doesn't seem like you have as much screen selection size choice this year. 55, 65, and 75 inches is for the X80L. So I would say that my knee-jerk reaction to the Sony lineup so far is that it feels sort of incomplete. Like either they're holding something back or they're under-delivering. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed by what I see here. It doesn't seem like there's any indication that there has been a new iteration of the XR processor, and it looks like it's just a continuation of last year. Overall, it seems like Sony is taking the if it isn't broke, don't fix it approach. And I guess that's kind of hard to argue against because they do have one of the best processors in the business in the XR processor. And if it isn't broke, then why try to fix it? I just thought that maybe they would take it a step up and go ahead and release a new iteration of it. It's kind of on par with what they used to do, but expect the unexpected with Sony. You can't really predict what they are going to do. Now, there's no information on gaming features. As far as I know, I haven't seen anything out there. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Tell me if you've seen any extra information out there on the gaming side of things. I would definitely love to hear about it. Also, let me know what you think of this whole entire lineup in the comments as well. And tell me, are you still going to buy a Sony TV this year? Or are you looking at Samsung, LG, Hisense, or TCL? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to watch more videos on 2023 TVs, I have a whole entire playlist right here.